And I believe we are live. Greetings, folks. Is anybody home? You know, I'm going to have a hard time reading that. It's so small. Hello. Thanks for joining. Willow Webb and Brafa. What's going on? Christopher Matthews. Number 2 King. So I'm a bit of a novice when it comes to live streaming, but I'm trying to do it. How's the sound? Is the sound good? How can I make the text bigger on the... Oh, that's working. There we go. Yes, the sound is working. Nice. So it's crazy how the SSDs have gotten extremely expensive lately. I have a 4 terabyte internal upgraded. Yes, I have a decent mic, but you know, you gotta set the streaming settings and all that, so you don't really know, because I'm not listening to myself. I just know my mic is on and it's working and it is streaming. So it's kind of shocking how SSDs have gotten more expensive, right? I'm glad I bought a whole bunch of them last year, a bunch of NVMEs, and now they are like 3 times the price. And unfortunately, the guys who I promote their internal replacement SSDs, they've gone way up in price too. Their 2 terabyte is now $500. Let me see if I can switch over to that. There it is. $500 for a 2 terabyte. And of course, Apple charges $800 for 2 terabytes. And you can get a Western Digital Black, $350. It's really gotten crazy. So like the upgrade replacement modules that you have to risk putting in your Mac have gotten, you know, they've actually discontinued. Let me go back to my regular camera here. They've discontinued selling the Pro model because they can't afford to make it anymore because the chips are just too expensive. They can't turn a profit. Yeah, the prices have gone insane thanks to all the AI folks, I guess. I mean, Apple's able to keep their prices the same, but their prices are crazy to begin with. Still $800 to put 2 terabytes in a Mac Mini base model, which is $200 more than the Mac Mini itself. I mean, Apple's probably going to have to raise their prices on the next round. They buy their stuff way in advance in huge lots, but supposedly they're paying twice the price on their storage with Samsung on their new contract, which is pretty crazy. So who's running their system on the external drive, or rather their home folder? 2 terabyte external. I just hooked up a new NAS. I'm going to be posting that video really soon that Ugreen gave me. It's a giant monster. It's hopefully the last NAS video I will be making because they are pretty complicated. You got your home folder running on the external. Now, I was doing that for 6 months, and then these guys sent me the internal upgrades to test out. So once I did that, I was running internal again, but I still have a tester unit drive that I use externally, Crucial SSD. I've used Team Group, and I've used the Western Digital Blacks, which I have. Let me see if I can switch to this now. In this guy, I got a Western Digital Black, and I also have the Beelink Mate Mini with another 2 terabyte in there. Interesting that my camera decided to go to sleep. It'll probably wake up when I switch over, but it's a different camera. I'm looking at this one now. But I have more storage than I know what to do with. It's really kind of crazy. But I have the external home folder running on this when I want to run some tests. But it's not my main setup anymore because I have 4 terabytes in my M4 Pro Mac Mini. Let me switch back to my regular camera. Hi, Tiny. That's what I have to say to wake up my camera. It's crazy. So has anybody had any issues with their external home folder setup? Or has it been running smoothly for you? It's a little complicated to get my text where I want it. You're booting off the 4 terabyte Mate Mini, so you got your system on the external. And how's that been running? I mean, now with Thunderbolt 5, sure, ask away. Thunderbolt 5, you know, you're still not going to be running as fast as if you had the internal system. Running your system externally, you know, you got the PCIe pipeline, so it's not going to be as fast as running it off your system, off the internal drive. Sure, you can transfer your home folder to an external drive, TXFix 31A2. You just got to use Carbon Copy Cloner. You know, format it in APFS like I show in my video, clone it to that, set the new path, and you're good to go. You just want to have it set up the same way, your users folder and then your username folder. Set the path to that after you clone it, and it won't know that you've actually switched drives. It works really well. But you got to use Carbon Copy Cloner. That's really the best way to do it. Just tilt your camera down, rather see your kit than your ceiling. My ceiling? The Jesse Cam. You should be seeing me right now. With my screens and whatnot. So behind me is my Mac Pro. Still have the 2019. I do most of my mixing with that. And I do my video editing on my Mac Mini, which is on my desk here. Now see, my camera decided to track me because it has voice activation, and sometimes it just starts doing things. Very wacky. How realistic is it to run a home folder? Don't run the home folder off the NAS. Sorry, Brafia, because the NAS is not formatted in APFS. So you're going to have all kinds of issues. It might sort of work, but once you start using like Apple apps and iPhoto and, you know, or Photos app and iCloud Drive and all that stuff, I would not try running it off the NAS. And the NAS likes to go to sleep all the time. So even if you have it in high performance mode, the drives spin down. Even if you have it on an NVMe on the NAS, it still has to be formatted for the NAS. It's not going to run well off the NAS. But you can put a lot of your other storage and do symlinks, things of that nature, My NAS, I just use it for Time Machine backups. Works great for that. Multiple computers, sharing, files across all of them. I hope that answers your question, but I would not recommend even trying it. You could try it with an extra user account and just play around with it. I haven't actually done it, so I just have read that because it's not APFS, it's not a good idea. Everything is working perfectly. Good to know. M. Barrett. I have one question. When I go to general storage, the apps I installed on the external drive still appear to be taking up space on the internal. Yeah, that's kind of a thing that Apple does in APFS is even if you go delete them initially, I don't know what you're looking at to see if the storage is actually being taken up. Are you looking at the hard drive path at the bottom where it says, how much the drive is using or get info? Or are you looking under system preferences where Apple kind of combines everything? Because they'll count in the external drive in that and make it look like you're using up a lot of space. I mean, you do have to go in and delete the apps from the internal drive once you've got them on the external drive. And sometimes it takes a reboot for the APFS to show you that it's been cleared out. Sometimes it just gets stuck. I'm not sure why that is. Yeah, you just have to get info on the drive. Like, for instance, let me see if I can do this really quick. Mac Mini. Get this out of the way. No, that's not what I wanted to do. So here's my internal, for instance. I set the path so you can see the storage. You can see I got 3.53 terabytes available. And you can do Command I on the keyboard. And then it's going to calculate how much is used. It says I got 465 gigabytes used right there. That's really the best place to look. If you go to your system settings, where is that? General. Where is that again? I hate the system settings. I like the old one, but it'll show you sort of, it's probably under iCloud maybe. About, no, I want to show my serial number. But somewhere in there it has that line of showing you, where the heck is it? Maybe it's just under iCloud. Yeah, that's what I was, no, that's my iCloud storage. Where is that? Can't remember. Yeah, we'll try a reboot and then get info again. The apps are on the external only. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure to be honest because, like I say, sometimes it gets glitched. And if it says it's completely full, you should go in and look at every folder. Like go into your user account, your user library, get info on that. You see my user library is 92 gigs. And stuff can fill up in your user library that eats up a ton of the internal storage on your internal SSD, depending on what you installed. Because if you install something like an audio app that installs a bunch of sample libraries like Logic or something, they live in here. So get info on your library and see how much is in the user library on the external, and then make sure that you don't have a duplicate internal user library. I'm back. Well, have you tried a reboot? Yeah, if you have Logic, that eats up a lot of space. And you have to install it internally first, and then you can relocate after you move Logic to the external drive. You can then relocate the samples to the external drive. I mean, if you go into your applications folder on the internal drive and get info on it, what does it say? Does it say 200 gigabytes worth of stuff? You have to locate where the issue is. So user library on the internal, like your backup, you could have installed things on the internal user and then moved your stuff. I mean, the stuff can linger around. You got to sort of go weed through and find out where it is and use calculate all sizes on the folders. Yeah, so what is your internal drive size? 256 gig? DaVinci Girl. So, I'm not really a good live streamer because I'm not good at sitting here and just rambling on about stuff. And this is very unplanned. I'm just sort of testing the waters here. Yes, calculate all sizes. Did anyone celebrate St. Paddy's Day yesterday with a Guinness? I have my coffee. I had a couple of Guinness, I'll be honest. Hadn't had any in quite a while. I have a little Irish blood in me, sort of Scottish-Irish mix. Let's go look at that. Where's my external user? Here it is. Users. Fairlight Evo. What is that? I remember Fairlight was like, the synth back in the day, the sampler rather. But I don't know what a Fairlight Evo is. Let's go look at the desktop again. Oh, yeah. Well, I am an audio guy. Although my mixing days, I don't know, not getting the work I used to get. It's not easy staying in the loop. And most of my stuff is broadcast TV mixing these days, music concerts. It's a synth. Yeah, and Fairlight's still in business, right? They make the desk for DaVinci Resolve. At least I saw that a couple of years ago at AES. And the thing was super expensive and seemed a little clunky. AI Claude Code. I'm actually running ClaudeBot. I was one of the first guys doing that, actually. I saw it on Reddit, and I'm like, I got to try this out. So my base model Mac Mini, which is in my other room, is running. And I use it every day now, and it's connected to my ChatGPT Codex. So I pay $20 a month, and I'm chatting with my bot a lot. It's kind of crazy. Helps me out. And I can't say it's like doing, it's not making me applications and coding and all that stuff. That's a little over my head. I'm just using it as an interface to ChatGPT. And it's when it's using Codex, which is really for coding, I guess, it's so much more direct. You don't get all the extra chit-chat that ChatGPT likes to do. So I like ClaudeBot, and I have it completely internal. It can't go out on the internet. I use it with Telegram. So it's a bot that you run on any computer, really, and you can just access it with Telegram, tell it to do things like make me a spreadsheet with this information that you give it. It's quite useful, and I'm learning more and more about it. Whoa, 260,000 euros. Yeah. I mean, I worked with the original Fairlight back in, I don't even know what year that was, like 1985 or 86 or something. And the thing was like $100,000 back then, which is like $1 million now. And it was all grainy, and you had, you'd take voice pitches and move it around and put in whatever samples you wanted to. But they were pretty low grade. So what else we got? It's 12:53. Probably going to end this at like 1:15. So any other questions about your external home folder setups or storage? I'm really wondering if the new M5 Mac Mini is going to be non-upgradable, and even if it is upgradable, I don't know. I don't think it's, these companies that are making the little upgradable chips, or rather SSDs for Mac Minis, are going to be able to stay in business because the stuff has gotten so expensive. Hi, Cheese Miner. Margonaut video is a share folder on the external drive in iCloud. I saw her video and it really confuses me. She's saying like, you can have iCloud with 15 terabytes or something on the external SSD, but really all it is she's running her user account with iCloud on it, kind of right after I made my video that really took off. We've chatted a couple of times. She has not been very nice, and I said a few comments to her that she did not like. So I don't know. But that video just seems confusing to me. It's sort of like run a user account just to run your iCloud account off it, which you could do. Trying to keep up with the text here. Do I use the MacBook with an NVMe and 3M dual lock attached on the back of the screen, or just to transport turned off? Not quite sure what you're asking me. You mean you have your user account running on an NVMe that's attached to your MacBook? Where can you get that background? The background is which one? I have a lot of different backgrounds. The one I showed you when I was looking at my Mac Mini screen, or the ones behind me? Follow the rabbit. Coding apps for hardware with no OEM drivers, etc., and all sorts of coding for our DAW host app for music hardware's amazing late 2026. I'm going to look at your post before that. Claude Code. I haven't tried Claude Code yet, but do they have like a monthly subscription, or do you have to pay like per access? I've been running Linux on my Mac Pro and Windows. The one on the right. What right? Oh, this one, the screensaver? The Matrix? Is that what you're talking about? That's an old screensaver. I don't even know where I got it, but I've seen a lot of other people with it, so it's definitely searchable. You're using your user account on a 1 terabyte NVMe with a Casus 40 gig case. So far, so good, no problems. Every time that I forget to attach it, try to enter my user, yeah, you're not going to get in. That's why you got to have the backup user account, because you can always log into the backup user first, attach the drive, and then do fast user switching and get into the external account. Send me a link to the Fairlight thing you're talking about. Post it here. I'll check it out. Because I'm keeping this chat with the video. Get Pro account with Claude Code, CLI terminal, never look back. But doesn't it wind up being like $200 a month or something? I mean, I got to figure out what I would use it for before I dive in deep into paying a lot of money for something like that. I don't know. I'd like to test it out, though, in a free account. I guess I can. Are you using ClaudeBot with your Claude Code? You're welcome, Christopher Matthews. Well, you could send me an email, macsoundsolutions@gmail.com. I think I can post, you can post links here. But anywho. So yeah, my Mac Mini now has 4 terabyte internal storage, which is crazy. But I got it for free, so their price, you can't even get them anymore. They stopped selling the Pro Mac Mini replacement. Nice. Yeah, NVMe's do get hot. I just got one sent to me that's got a built-in fan, but the fan is so freaking annoying. I can't even use it unless it's just tucked away in another room. But that's normal. They do get hot. But yeah, it's probably not good to have it attached to your screen because it can wind up, who knows what, damaging the pixels. Why is it doing that? There we go. Pro accounts, 180 pounds per year. That's not bad. I do not see a link. Oh, you need my email. Yeah, it's just macsoundsolutions@gmail.com. See you later. Thanks for joining. And, I'm sorry I'm not more organized with this. Ooh, my audio looked hot. I don't know why. Yeah, that whole token thing scares me with using Claudebot because it goes and does stuff on its own, and then next thing you know, you have $1,000 bill. But you just got to have like a monthly subscription and have it limited. Maybe don't use Claudebot. Can I type in the chat? Yes, I can. Please don't share my email, although it's on my website and it's on my, It's pretty easy. Now let's see. So, yeah, I'm kind of thinking about getting a M5 Mac Studio and selling off my Mac Mini. And because it's got 4 terabyte SSD in it, so it's it's worth quite a bit. When they come out, I might make the leap. That might be the last computer I ever buy, because I'm getting old, folks, and I have too many computers. I do like having the Mac Pro. In case of questions, just make a comment. I don't know what you mean. Well, folks, I think we're winding down. Anybody else have any questions about your external home folder setup? I got this little drive given to me by Zyke, and it's actually really good. I mean, this could be a good portable home folder laptop situation. It is going to cover up both of your ports, but it's also got a USB in, so you can still charge your laptop or connect a mic or whatever, or another hard drive. It's just sort of a pass-through. And this is, 1,000 megabytes per second read and write. It gets warm. It's got a little fan in it, but it's not obnoxious. So for an on-the-go sort of situation, that can work well. I mean, it's really built for the iPhone, and it works great for my iPhone when I use it for camera stuff. So I'm recording on the iPhone. You got the 5.1. I was thinking about doing a 5.1 video with Linux again, putting Bazide on there. Hi from Chile. Hello, Chile. Welcome to the live chat. Take care. 6800, I don't think you're going to be able to write a driver for it, but if you could, that would be great. People can't use it with anything past Monterey. Have a link for what? You have the link? Oh, check my email. Is that what you're telling me? I will have a look. Yep, got an email from you. Can I post your link in the chat? Da Vinci Girl? You can write me with a problem. I get a lot of emails, so, I'll do my best. But you can say what your problem is right now, just so I get a gist, and then I'll remember. J. Barbat. Okay, there's the link. And we'll look at what that is on my screen as well. I need a new tab, though. New tab. Oh my goodness. Is that big console? Coding for Snow Leopard. They said the next Mac OS is going to be the closest thing to Snow Leopard, and they're kind of cleaning out the fat. I just want them to redo the system preferences, aside from several other things, because no problem. The video is no music. No problem. I'll check it out. That's the Fairlight Evo. So you picked one of those up. You're using it. And it's a console? Or is it like a video switcher? What is it? It's a big beast. Okay. So you're in Germany, Da Vinci Girl? Cool. I'm in New York. New York, born and raised. Cool. Well, send me some pics of your setup via email so I can check it out. I have my little Midas console. I don't use it that much, to be honest. I just kind of monitor things with it. I used to use it for my YouTube stuff, but now I just have a Stream Deck with one mic input, which is what I'm using right now. The audio is really good. I can adjust the volume right here on my desk. It's a simple little mic interface for doing stuff like this, live streaming and whatnot. You're welcome. Chrysomelido. My YouTube channel's been around for a long time. I started doing it more seriously the past year and a half because my Mac Mini video blew up, but it's a struggle. I'm trying to do it sort of as my job, and I think I'm failing. I'm not really doing a great job at it. And YouTube even Google reached out to me, and they've invited me down to their Google headquarters. And, I'm a small YouTuber, but they're trying to help small YouTubers. And they push stuff on you like, do more live streams and whatnot. So that's why I'm on here, really. My 5.1 is sitting right over here. I keep thinking I want to do a Linux video about it because Linux runs so well on those things. And I've got my 6800 XT just sitting there doing nothing. and you can use it for a lot of gaming stuff. I mean, the problem is I got Linux running on my Mac Pro 7.1, and I was using it, but then there are just little things in Windows that work better with games like ray tracing. Like I just got Resident Evil 4, and no, sorry, Resident Evil Requiem, and it's got ray tracing, but in Linux you don't even see it. It's not an option. You can't turn it on. And it runs great in Linux. The game runs phenomenal in 4K, but when you bring it up on the old Windows, you then have ray tracing, and then it's kind of like, of course I'm rambling on here, but each knob is touch sensitive and monitor is a touch screen. 8 monitors with a Fairlight. Wow. That's great. I want to see pictures of your setup. Send them over. Just now that you got my email, send me some pics. Love to see it. Hey, thank you. I'm rich. I just made €3, folks, and YouTube will take they take like 40% of the money that saves you. But thank you, Georgie Barbat. I appreciate that. And yeah, you can reach out to me via email with your question. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I'm not really a live streamer type of person. Some people are just so good at rambling on. I don't even know what to talk about. I mean, I did say, let's talk about the home folder situation. So I'm just sitting here answering your questions. Yeah, you have to stick with Monterey. I think Monterey is the best, like Martin Lowe's OpenCore, not OpenCore Legacy Patcher, and Monterey, if you're going to have like a 6800 in your Mac Pro. Mine has the Pixels mod, the 6800. That's about as good as you're going to get. And, the CPUs can't really keep up with that GPU anyway with certain apps and games. But it's still plenty powerful and very usable for certain things. Yeah, and you can pick them up really cheap. What's wrong, Georgia Blot? Georgie. Is it Georgi Barbat? Am I saying that right? Or is it George Barbat? I've got an R7000. It was as slow as hell and then blew up and bricked. Radeon 7. Avoid it. Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you buy your GPUs from. A lot of them that you buy on eBay, for instance, I got an RX 580, and it was actually given to me, but they didn't tell me that the ROM had been modded. So I went to go make a video with it. Mac Pro wouldn't even boot, and I had to go in there, put it into Windows, reinstall the ROM on it, then it worked. But man, it was like 3 lost days of what's going on with this thing as I was trying to make a video. George is fine. Okay. Yeah, I'd say, the 5700 XT, if you don't want to have to flash something and it runs off the internal power, you don't want to do a Pixels mod, that's probably about the best GPU you're going to get. There are a couple of those workstation GPUs for the Mac Pro 5.1, but I have not tried them. That do work as well. But I would say, 6800 XT is, or 6900 even, but you got to do the whole flashing routine in a PC to get it to work on the Mac Pro 5.1 with OpenCore. And it's quite a lot to go through. But it is going to blow away like a Mac Mini playing games in Windows or Linux. That's the thing, like the new Macs are not really gaming machines, and who's going to spend, all that money for a gaming machine with a Mac. It doesn't make sense. Vega Frontier is also slow and expensive. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to run like Sequoia on the Mac Pro 5.1, you got to use a 580, which is basically a piece of junk GPU. It's not powerful. Can't do much. But, the old OS, pretty soon your web browser is going to stop working. That's why Linux is a good option for the old Mac Pro. Which is my favorite Mac and why? Ooh, I still like my 2019 Mac Pro. When I go from the Mac Mini here on my desk over there and working on my Mac Pro, which is a 16-core, 96 gigs of RAM. It's got 2 GPUs in it. That thing is a beast. Everyone's like, oh, the new Apple Silicon, super fast, blah, blah, blah. Well, it is when you're like exporting video, right? Because it's got the media engines and the chip, and it does that really well. But if you need a lot of RAM, you can pick up a used Mac Pro for quite cheap. And of course, it's eventually not going to be usable, but you can still run Windows or Linux on them, and Linux runs amazing on that. But I love it. I'm still running Sequoia on it. I haven't upgraded to Tahoe because I just think like it's going to slow it down. So I'm going to stick with Sequoia as long as I can on the Mac Pro 7.1. And I do love my Mac Mini. The M4 Pro has been awesome. It's great for video editing. So, it's hard to say. But my true love is the Mac Pro 5.1, of course, because I had it for so many years and it never failed me. I mean, it's still sitting there. It'll still turn on. The things from 2009, it's crazy. I like, this is answering to Nick. I have these guys. These are only like under $100. You can pop an NVMe in here. It's super easy to open. It's Zyke. It's, they get hot, but it's passively cooled. There's no fan, so there's no noise. I don't like drives with fans unless they're going to sit in a closet where I can't hear it because, recording studio and whatnot. But these are great little enclosures. I've been promoting them and using them for a long time. So, Thunderbolt 4, good enough for audio and backing up your stuff, getting it off the internal drive. Long live the 5.1. Long live the 5.1. Yep. I'm looking right at mine. I can't get rid of it. I just will never sell it. It'll just be here. I got a 6.1 also because I picked it up for like $250 like a year ago now. And I can't say I use it very often. I'm always at my mini desk here. I'm not over here that much, which is terrible. I keep thinking I should set my mini up to my OLED 40-inch display. Instead, I'm over here. I'll show you guys my mini desk just so you can see. Yeah, you can pick up old MacBook Pros for really cheap. Let me do a little switch here. Show you my setup. Mac Mini. Oh no, iPhone. So this is wacky. With OBS, you can use your iPhone wirelessly, just like a webcam, but it just comes up as another camera angle. So there's my M4 Pro Mac Mini. That's got 4 terabytes of storage internal. So I'm not running the external home folder setup. I'm running the internal on this one. But I do have an external home folder set up on the Wocus. This is an 80 gigabit enclosure. It's got the little built-in screen. And down here, instead of having the mini in there, because it does heat up, let me get this thing to focus, it does heat up. So I don't like having enclosures on top of my mini. It also messes with the Wi-Fi. Move my coffee. So I love this thing. You know, I tried to promote it. People didn't seem to care much, but it's a good little hub, and you get the little extra screen. So I have a little digital clock I'll have on there, whatever, you know. It reminds me of I did have a Mac Plus back in the day with a floppy drive, which is just crazy because I'm ancient. Then I got the Wavelink Thunderbolt 5. I have so many docks hooked up to this thing because the B-Link, which has 2 terabytes, this has 2 terabytes, that has 4 terabytes, and the Wavelink is a Thunderbolt 5 dock, which only has USB-C ports for Thunderbolt, and it doesn't have it doesn't have HDMI. It just has DisplayPort. No, it doesn't have DisplayPort. It only has USB-C ports. Thunderbolt 5, 3 of them. So then I got over here, I can get that angle, the Acasis hub, which is a 21-in-1 hub, and it's Thunderbolt 4, and it's great. I've been using that for almost 2 years now, and it's really rock solid. I'm going to put this down, try not to make you guys dizzy, and we'll go back to my main camera. There we go. I'm using OBS to do this camera, do the camera switching. And it works pretty well. Instead of having to use like a switcher, I can just use OBS and have multiple cameras coming in all via USB-C. So I'm using a little OBSBot pan tilt, which follows me around the room. And I have 3 of these things because they just keep sending them to me to make videos. Yeah, I mean, I've been gaming on my 7.1 and mixing on it. That's all I really use it for these days. And I do all my video editing on the Mac Mini. But, you know, they kind of were tanking in price, and now they're kind of going back up. And the reason why, they got 1 or 2 terabytes of storage. They got 96 gigs of RAM, a lot of them. And, you know, RAM has gotten so expensive. So that's kind of edging the prices back up on the Mac Pro 7.1. Sure, DaVinci Girl. You got a YouTube channel, obviously. We could do a collab video. That would be fun. Yeah, 580 is not a GPU worth getting. And buying a Mac Pro with the 580, you're going to just be pulling that thing out and putting something else in. You know, sadly, somebody borrowed my Snow Leopard disc, and I never got it back. And I asked him multiple times, and the guy just never gave it back to me. So I had the original package. I love the opening Snow Leopard video. I always wanted to screen capture that. It's got to be on YouTube somewhere. But it's such a cool opener, and Apple stopped doing those, you know, cool opening videos. Now it just says welcome, you know. But they've lost some of their, I don't know, artsiness or whatever. Like, you know, you're lucky to get 1 or 2 wallpapers with the Next OS. The design of the computers is boring as hell. I mean, they're great little computers, the Mac Studio and the Mac Mini, but they don't have the design flair that the Macs used to have. And of course, they used to be plasticky and funny looking when you look back at them. But I would like it if they came out, like, why don't they come out with the trash can, a new version with an M5 Ultra in there? That would be cool. Modernize that design. The airflow totally makes sense for Apple Silicon, right? It just pulls it in the bottom, brings it out the top, and but they don't want you opening up your Mac Studio. They make it very difficult. So maybe that's just never going to happen, but it would be cool. Who wants to drive for the RX on snow? I got a bunch of GPUs I got to get rid of. A 580 being one of them. I got a 5700 XT. What else do I have over there? I got something else. Well, folks, I think I'm running on fumes. But maybe I'll do this once a week just for fun. Chat with my followers, my subs. And I appreciate all of you for joining today. It's been fun. I'll try and be more prepared next time. I'm kind of getting out my technical glitches, so, it's pretty cool that I can switch around and show you my desktop. That's DaVinci Girl's video right there. I'm going to hit subscribe right now, DaVinci Girl. So there we go. I am subbed to your channel, and I will check out your stuff. And I can also show you, like, if you want. No, that's not what I wanted to show you. Go away. These are the upgrades for the Mac Mini. And you can see they're now charging. This used to be $350 for the 2 terabyte. Now it's $500. That's crazy. I mean, that's almost as Apple charges $800. They're charging $500. And unfortunately, that's not good for me because I was making little chunks of money every time people would buy those. But the price has gotten kind of crazy. CLP 5000. Thank you. Mac Pro forever. What else? Oh, yeah. Let me just do a little shameless promotion before I sign off here. That's not what I wanted to do either, but I can do it that way. I don't know if this is even clickable, if they let you click on stuff. That's my Amazon store link right there. That takes you to all the stuff you saw on my desk and some other things. I'm going to be doing a video on Atom Audio very soon. DaVinci Girl, you probably know of those guys because they're from Germany, I believe. Let's go back to Tiny3. Yeah, Atom Audio sent me some speakers, desktop speakers, and some headphones, and they're really good. I really like them. They sound great, and their headphones and their desktop speakers, the audio just matches like you. It's almost like you're listening to exactly the same thing as far as the overall sound goes. Four hours training for audio. Wow. So you're teaching. You're a teacher. Good. My link is clickable. So go to Amazon, buy some dog food or something. I get a small commission. Or some of my tech things. I got a $119 2K monitor in my list there, which I've been using. And I swear, for the money, what a great monitor. I got the Atom Audio headphones in there. They're the H200s. I got them back here, too. Now I'm doing shameless promotion part of my live stream, but these are them. They're really snug on your head. They're tight, but they're, they're sort of studio headphones, and they sound great. They're not overhyped. You don't have this ridiculous curve of sizzling high end and boomy low end. The mid range and the low end is really tight. They sound great. I'll be doing a video on those really soon. I went over to my buddy's recording studio, and we set up their speakers and the headphones and had a nice chat, and that'll be a video posting soon on my channel. See you later, Mark. Have a great day. And yeah, I'm rambling on here, so I'm going to bid you guys farewell. Thanks a lot for joining, and I'll try and do one next week. I'll send out another little email. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Maybe Wednesdays will be my live streaming days. Maybe I'll do one in the evening because, of course, a lot of people have to work during the day. But thanks for joining. And again, you can reach out to me via my website, which is maxsoundsolutions.com. I have a new website, and you can contact me through that or via my email. So thanks for joining, and I'm going to hit the stop streaming button right now. I don't think the Mac Studio has a built-in optical output, but I'm not sure. Sometimes they combine it in the audio jack. All right, kids. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to hit end stream. Later.